back. I have some pretty big plans for my next video. It was going to be this video, but my Valentine's Day gift came in from my husband and I wanted to open it on camera because it's another one of those darn good yarn grab bags, which I know I've had kind of like bad experiences in the past with the yarn. However, the yarn bowl that came with this pack was too much for me to not, like, it was just so perfect. So we're going to open it up. We're going to take a look at the yarn bowl, which is the reason that we ordered it. And then we're also going to take a look at the yarns. Now, this one promised premium yarns, which I believe the other ones didn't, but I'm not sure because darn good yarn will often basically just say everything is a premium yarn. But let me get out the yarns I've gotten in the past from Darn Good Yarn and we can have a little bit of a refresher. It's not going to include the very first one I got because I don't know where that one is right now. So this isn't including the ones that I got from their like subscription box. This is just the stuff that I got the last time I got a yarn bowl with yarns, like grab bag type thing. I really wanted this yarn bowl. This is the one that I got last time. And I really like it. I've used it a good couple of times. It's really, really good for smaller balls of yarn. This other one's supposed to be a little bit bigger. And then these were the yarns that I got last time. This one is a 3-ply silk uncarded yarn is what it's called. It's very dense. This one is banana yarn fiber. This one is, it feels a little nicer, but I definitely would not want to wear it against my skin. This one is roving silk yarn. It's very soft. I might actually make something out of this. So that's what I got with the last time that I did this. Let's see what I got this time. I'm going to show you the yarn bowl first because I'm very excited about that. I'm cutting it very carefully. It even says on the top that it's the bowl. Excuse the crackling of paper. I wanted to make sure I get as much of this as I can as far as like the opening of it. So this is the yarn bowl that I was so excited about. It is so cute. My daughter loves drawing cats with these like little closed eyes. It kind of reminds me of the kitsune statues in some like manga and anime artwork. Just this little mischievous closed cat face, and the little whiskers were just so cute. And this thing is huge. This is a really, really, really big yarn bowl. It's got the Darn Good Yarn on the bottom and a little made in China sticker, yay. And then there's quite a bit of yarn in here, but I saw it was on top, so I saw some of it already. So you know, my first impressions aren't first really. But I do really like one of them. There's a couple balls of it, and the other one I'm not too keen on. So let's go into the yarn real quick. One thing that was immediately apparent when I opened the box is this is kind of a destashing their back stock after the holidays, because there's some very obviously Christmas yarn in here. So here's the Christmas yarn. And I am not a big Christmas person. A lot of you probably know I'm not a big Christmas person because many of you who watch are my friends. So this yarn I'm probably not going to do anything with. I do have some friends who are very into Christmas, so I might see if they want it. The yarn is called Sparkle. The yarn is called Sparkle, and the colorway is Holly Jolly. It's a lace weight silk yarn. So this would make a very pretty Christmas shawl for somebody. I mean, if I do anything with this yarn, it's not going to be something for myself. I do have family members who are very into Christmas, so maybe they'll get something, you know, out of this. But other than that, I can't think of any reason that I would personally keep this yarn. I may give it to one of my friends who likes Christmas. We'll see. The other two yarns in here, though, are definitely yarns that I like. I'm actually kind of surprised. This is the best yarn that I've gotten from Darn Good Yarns yet, except for maybe that silk roving yarn. These appear by feel and look to be very similar. They're silk for sure. These are all recycled silk yarn. This one is 120 yards, mystery DK weight silk yarn. And it's very pretty. It's very, very pretty. I do have a yarn that is the same weight. This says it's lace weight. No, DK weight. This says it's DK weight. This is not DK weight yarn. This is not DK weight yarn. It appears to be more like a lace weight yarn than DK to me. It's pretty thin. Typical Darn Good yarn, there's like some, you know, little bits in here of, you know, stuff. So, but it's very pretty. It's very pretty colors. So that's nice. And it's silk. It's recycled silk yarn. It has a pretty nice hand to it. It's not real dense, heavy, coarse, any of that. And then this one I'm a lot more excited about because I like these colors a lot more. So this is Darn Good Twist Sport Weight Silk Yarn. And this is definitely sport weight. And it's in the colorway Icicle. And it's very pretty, cool, icy, watery colors. My only problem with this yarn is I have that Maharashtra silk yarn that I made my citron shawl that I wore in a previous video out of, and it's very, very similar in color. Now, this one has a lot more of the light colors than that one, but I'm wondering if maybe I can combine the two since they're both silk. Recycled silk, no less, and maybe, just maybe, I can do something kind of cool and watery out of that. But I've already got my Spira shawl is what I call it. It's citron from Knitty, and I knit it mostly, strangely enough, during cutscenes, during Final Fantasy X and X-2 when I was replaying them, and then also I was watching Markiplier play some stuff and watching Jacksepticeye play Subnautica, and so as a result, I was knitting this shawl. It's all like different shades of blue, looks very watery. Since I was playing Final Fantasy X and X-2, I called it the Spira shawl. And it's very similar colors. It's definitely a darker, richer blue. It's not this tealy blue. So I'm wondering if I might be able to combine them and do something kind of cool with that. Who knows? There is enough here for me to do a shawlette or something like that. The thing with this company, the thing with Darn Good Yarn, it seems like almost everything I get is silk. I know they offer something that other than silk. I know that they offer non-silk yarns. I've seen people get non-silk yarns. I've seen people get like yak, not Kiviot, but yak. I'm probably mispronouncing that, I'm sorry. But, and it's apparently really, really soft and really warm, and I've never seen it in person. I've never touched it. I've never met anybody who's had it. I've never even spoken to anybody who's gotten the yak yarn before, except maybe somebody commented in one of my previous Darn Good Yarn videos. So this time Darn Good Yarn did not disappoint. Every time I get stuff from them, I think to myself, would I order again? And I think that now that I have two yarn bowls, I have one cutesy one that's big and one very classy one that's small. And I still haven't done anything with any of the yarn that I have from them. I don't think I'm going to order from them again. Despite being not disappointed with this yarn. It was 6 balls of yarn and a really nice yarn bowl. Despite not being disappointed with the yarn this time, I'm still not exactly into it. And I believe it was $60 for this box, and I'm not 100% certain that it's worth $60. The yarn bowl alone, I've seen places like Etsy and Amazon, I've seen similar yarn bowls for roughly $40. So all of this yarn for $20 isn't so bad. But we've got a yarn that says it's DK weight and it's not. So let's say you go to Darn Good Yarn and you order this yarn. Because you can go and order specific yarns. You just have to make sure if you get something in a grab bag, you go and order more of it right away because they run out. But let's say you go online and you're like, okay, I have this project that I want to do and it requires DK weight yarn and I want to try this yarn that I saw on Darn Good Yarn, and you order it and it says it's DK weight. That is not DK weight. Like, this is sport weight, right? And this is probably twice, maybe 3 times as thick as that DK weight yarn. This is sport weight yarn, which it also seems a bit thick for sport weight. And according to this, on the back, it says 2. This is DK weight yarn. And on the back, it says 4. So let's take a minute and say this is 2 and this is 4. Let me compare directly on the camera here the difference in width of these yarns, okay? Because yarn weight accuracy can be a really big deal if you're ordering online. And a lot of people are ordering online right now. Do you blame them? The world is on fire still. It's been on fire for a year. So ordering online and getting accurate weight is kind of important. So let's see if I can juggle all of this. I'm going to stand up, I think, so you can see this very, very clearly. Look at the difference. It may not seem like much. Okay, come on. It may not seem like much, but the blue is definitely 100% thicker. And by 100% thicker, I mean it is at least twice as thick. And so for it to say that this is sport weight or size 2 and to say that this is a 4 is very obviously wrong. Very wrong. This is lace weight at best. I would say this is maybe between sport and DK. It might be like a heavier sport weight. It's probably about sport weight because I would say sock weight and sport weight are pretty comparable. Now I may have to go online and see what Darn Good Yarn, if they have different width measurements of different system, because they are based out of, I believe the Darn Good Yarn is from India, if I'm not mistaken, which is why they work so much in silk, because they work with a lot of silk in India. But like this lace weight says it's a super fine 1, and this isn't very much thicker than the red one. So that red one is in between the two, so it should be maybe a 2, and then the blue one should be a 3 if we're just looking at the numbers, right? If any of that made sense to you, yay, you've been knitting as long as I have. But just to give a quick lesson, if you want to sit and listen, if you're not really familiar with yarn balls, we'll go with this, my Deborah Norville Serenity Sock Weight. Do they even carry this anymore? Anyway, so on the back, you have these 3 squares. You've got the yarn weight, and then you've got the gauges. And usually yarn weight and gauges is an easy way to tell how thick the yarn is and if it's going to work for your project. So this is super fine. It's basically borderline lace. Lace weight would probably be a 0 on this scale. And you're going to use US 2 or an E hook. So US 2 needles or an E hook with this to get the gauges on the back. So it's about 7 stitches per inch and only slightly less because it's 28 to 26. So only slightly less on the crochet. So that's one of the big problems with ordering online, is that companies don't always use the exact same measurement system. Now, most of the companies that sell in the US, I think because we have fairly strict commercial laws in the US, they have to abide by a very specific ideology of it has to land between these many stitches if you're getting gauge on the suggested needle or hook size for it to be considered part of that weight of yarn. Now, don't quote me on that. I may do a little bit more research and do like a deep dive on that. I think that would be a really interesting video. Let me know down below if you want me to do a deep dive on US yarn policies. But if we take a look at this, which is something I got off of Wish, this one doesn't even have that information on it. So Wish, which I believe 99% of the time ships out of China, China may not have those kinds of laws where you have to label your weight like that. Now, I don't know that you have to label the weight. I know that if you're getting one of the mill end bags that they sell at Joann's from time to time, those don't always have weight on them. But I do know that there is a standardized system for weight in the US and in, I believe, in Britain as well. Next episode. Real quick, I just wanted to let you guys know my next episode is going to be basically a lookbook. I'm going to be doing a voiceover and basically modeling a bunch of stuff that I've made over the last year that you haven't seen yet. I am very excited because I finished the Motley sweater. Super, super excited. I have a whole lot of stuff I can't wait to show off. But then after the lookbook is done, after I've done that video, I'm probably going to spend some time basically talking about blocking, because I'm going to be blocking one of the most complex things I've ever blocked, which is the wingspan shawl that everybody's going on about. It's the wingspan that looks like actual wings, because if you look, I wore this one because I knew I was going to talk about this. This is an older pattern called wingspan. It's either that or it's the one that somebody made that was very similar, but this is the way that this is how this is how this one's knit. You can see it's short rows. So that's what this one was called wingspan. It kind of looks like bat or dragon wings to me. But this new one, it's got a series. Let's get this on. But this new one, everybody was obsessed with it around this time last year. And then quarantine happened and I was like, I need a really intense knit. And so I started working on it and it was too intense for me. And I've only gotten maybe a third of the way through the second section. Go me. But I'm really looking forward to finishing it. I'm going to focus on that for a while after I've finished the Feel the Burn sweater and blocked that and my Motley sweater. I'm going to mostly focus on knitting this other one. And then I also have a blanket I'm going to be working on for my husband. So I want to do this lookbook so that I can then do a whole video on blocking complicated items. I'm going to set up my camera. You'll be able to see everything. And then I'm going to do another video about corner to corner crochet, because the Afghan that I'm going to be knitting for my husband is a corner to corner crochet Afghan. I purchased, I'll be able to link it all there, but I purchased a Mega Man cross stitch pattern, and that's what I'm using for the Afghan. So it's corner to corner crochet. I went on Etsy, found Mega Man cross stitch because he wanted a Mega Man Afghan. So I may even do a time lapse. Let me know. That's something I would really like to know. There's 154 of you at this point that subscribe to my channel. Please let me know if you want me to do some time lapse projects. I am okay with doing that. It takes maybe 4 weeks of working every day to do a corner to corner crochet Afghan if I'm working slowly or only picking away at it a few hours a day. So if you would like a time lapse of me basically making that Afghan, but in like 10 minutes, let me know. I have access to a lot of music using my Filmora software that I'm allowed to have on YouTube, because I purchased a software so I can use the music. So let me know if that's something you would like. Time lapse, I can do time lapse of everything: crochet, knitting, weaving, spinning. I would not mind doing something like that. That would be, I think, a really fun thing to have a little extra fun content that isn't just me rambling at my camera. I think that's all for today. I am gonna go work more on my Feel the Burn sweater and hopefully get going on that wingspan shawl pretty soon and have that finished, because as I forget who I picked this up from. I think it was the Brass Needles podcast, where she used to call it finishuary. February is finishuary. So that's what I'm going to be focused on, because it's like you have your selfish knitting in January, you put something on the needles and it's brand new and it's real satisfying. And then you're finishing, you still have stuff you needed to finish from before Christmas because you got caught up in your Christmas knitting. And so February is finishuary. You finish your selfish knitting from January, you finish your stuff that you had on the needles and hooks before Christmas. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to finish my wingspan hopefully before the end of the month. Cross your fingers. I'm really bad about sitting down and like really focusing on these things because my daughter's home all the time. And I don't get a lot of time to myself and I don't get a lot of time to focus. So thank you all for watching. I can't wait to see you guys next time. Please remember to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, Etsy, Pinterest, everywhere. I'm Be My Full Moon everywhere except for Ravelry and Twitter, where I'm Aorai. That's Aurai. I had both of those accounts before I started the Be My Full Moon name. So I look forward to hearing from you guys. Make sure to like and subscribe. I think if you hit the bell, you'll get updates. And since I don't update all that often, you know you're not going to get deluged. I have hit the bell for Markiplier and I get messages every single day. It's hard. Same with Philip DeFranco, but I don't update all that much. So if you hit the bell, you'll always know when I'm posting something. And I would love to see slightly higher numbers as far as my number of people who subscribe and the number of views I'm getting. So please help me get to that point where I want at least half of you, I want at least half of the number of people to subscribe to watch every single video as it comes out. So I'm so glad you guys could sit and have this chat with me. I can't wait to do it next time, and I look forward to talking about more lovely yarn and fibers, and hopefully I'll do something with this yarn pretty soon so you guys can check it out. Okay, bye.